Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War Pro modcast this side of East Yorkshire. And today we've got a 1 vs 1 on Antigua Bay. Over in the Imperial Guard corner we've got Dawn of War Pro's Shed. As over in the Eldar corner we've just Churka Bambus. Bambus going to go for double Guardians, Fleet of Foot, Aspect Portal, Plasma Generator and a Soul Shrine. Whereas the Imperial Guard player is going to go for triple Guardsman, Infantry Command and a Plasma Generator. Building his Infantry Command close towards the base, not really. As you sometimes see the Imperial Guard player, they'll put their Infantry Command over yonder to defend this strategic point. But against Eldar, the Imperial Guard really do need to get as much online as humanly possible before you see the inevitable Death Guard, Dark Reapers on the way. Oh, he says that, never mind, we've got some Banshee Aspect Stones being added on, so I do like that. You never ever see Banshees, but in Dawn of War Pro, Howling Banshees are very much useful, or at least actually useful in melee and whatnot, so nice one, I do quite like that. There are some Casicans coming out for the Imperial Guard, are able to cap and decap things quite quickly in comparison to your regular old Guardsmen. Not as great in close combat, but more lethal at range, which would normally, if you're up against Eldar, would be the thing, but not with the Howling Banshees on the field at the moment, raising their swords high towards their purple coloured flag. What a lovely colour scheme it is. Purple and white, you know it's got to be right. Guardians moving forward. Farseer being popped out. Yeah, excellent. Oh, I'm quite excited for this now. Guardsmen going to be capturing this relic over yonder, quite close to the Eldar base, so a little bit cheeky there. The Eldar are trying to go for this relic over on this side.
Time to wage war.
Do have the command squad on the way. Commissar being popped out. Going to go for a Ministarum Temple, which is an interesting pick, as normally you would see against someone like Eldar, you would see the Imperial Guard go for Psychers, as they're able to give their boys nearby them some ranged defense. But the priest, I do believe, gives them additional DPS, if I'm not mistaken. Hear me now, quote me later. We'll find out soon, I suppose. Elves just capturing this bit over yonder. More Guardians going to come as well. Probably going to be upgraded with their whatever you call them, the Heavy Guardian upgrade. I imagine that's probably already been done, making them a little bit tougher to deal with. Howling Banshees moving forward with the Banshee Exarch. Going to decap this strategic point very quickly, I must say. It's being a nuisance. But there we go, not overcommitting, just being a little bit of a pain. Guardsmen just building up their listing posts and whatnot. Nothing interesting too much coming out of the Infantry Command. Casicans just standing defence as a listing post on this relic has been managed up. Commissar and Priest ready to rip and tear anything that they can get their hands on. Elves moving very quickly with their Fleet of Foot, going to see if they can take on this listing post. Guardsmen will notice this and move in for a flanking doofer. Big Eldar electricity moving on over this side. Will do a little bit of damage, but not the end of the world. Mind War going straight on this command squad, lowering his health down to very, very low as these Howling Banshees slice and dice, flesh, bone and skin. Jumping in and then jumping out this listing post. Command squad running away from the Howling Banshees as the Farseer does their usual elvish nonsense. Guardians using the light cover to their advantage, but are being left alone somewhat. Will have to fall back and go support their Howling Sisters as this command squad runs in. Commissar has been killed. They're going to hide in the listing post, probably going to teleport themselves to somewhere else, and indeed they do. Straight out, one singular priest moving in, going to see what he can do against these ladies as the Casicans and Guardsmen fire away at these Guardians who are standing up to the punishment. The Howling Banshees certainly putting in the work today, but lots of low health models are going for their maximum number of 7 in their squad. Farseer doing as much disruption as she can, jumping around, giving them the psychic business. The Howling Banshees will fall back a little bit as this Commissar standing alone without his commander or his priest friend, tanking a lot of the damage,
We will serve.
falling back into the heavy cover. And the Imperial Guard have managed to defend this. Against all hope, against all reason, we'll also put down a minefield as well, just for good measure. 96 and 10 for the Imperial Guard, compared to 85 and 20. Eldar are going to go for tier 2. Got some warp spiders in the mix as well. Will help them traverse and flank these immobile guardsmen. What's going on? Any tier 2 going on for the guardsmen? No, not at the moment. Throwing down an exploding plasma generator. Deciding to cancel that and then move it somewhere else, I imagine. Tier 2 now finished for the Eldar. Enhanced optics as well will make them more lethal at range. Imperial Guard trying to take on this listening shrine, while a good line of Guardians firing away, making short work of this Guardsman squad. Only one Guardsman left with his priest ally. Will be forced backwards as these warp spiders jump over the ridge of these trees. Howling Banshee's not looking too fierce there. Good reaction times from the Imperial Guard player, avoiding those storms by the by. Got some conceal and entanglement. Will allow the warlocks to do their usual warlock nonsense. In the form of concealing and entangling foes and enemies alike. Command squad on the way with 2 commissars. Eldar using their superior movement to move over here and assault this listening post. Will take him a little while, but not too long to get through this listening post. The Farseer joining their ranks.
Waiting here is but a phase of our existence.
Imperial Guard have done exactly the same with this relic over here. This listening post for the Imperial Guard being left alone by the Eldar for now. I've managed to get it down, will decap it with these Howling Banshees. And what is going to come out for the Eldar now? Going to get some Rune of Fortunes and whatnot. Hero War Gear. Improving the psychic abilities of the Farseer. Reducing cooldown times and whatnot. Both of those upgrades where I couldn't see quite what the other one is, the Rune of Fortune. Yeah, it's all Eldar nonsense really. All her upgrades is basically either increase her health and damage or give her all this ability and whatnot. We'll make short work of this commander. Although imagine turning their attention towards his Cascans instead. As the firing lines move and shift. Priest will go down. As these heavy Guardians using their shuriken cannons to good effect. Commander has gone down. Morale or general debuff on all these guardsmen have been felt. They will retreat paradoxically towards the Eldar base. Warp Spiders moving over to cut their path of retreat off. And yeah, these boys are not in summer camp anymore. Deep in the jungles. Going to be moving past these Warp Spiders. Cassicans firing away as they do. Deciding to sit on their haunches. They know they're dead anyway, so they may as well do what DPS they can while they've still got their last dying moments ahead of them. Last Cassigan being cut to ribbons and kicked in the face just for good measure. Eldar... Oh, no, never mind. They are now going to go for the Heavy Guardian Defenders. So, Jesus Christ, they're already lethal. Or at least already able to stand the test of time. But now they'll be able to do it even more so. Infantry Command going for some more Cassicans. Going to build some heavy weapons teams, so... Imperial Guard player going to decide to play the defensive game, which is probably exactly what they need to do at this point.
My powers are yours now.
Not exactly going to push out with this death ball of Eldar on the way. Moving around. Warp Gate being popped down here. Listening Shrine as well. So Warp Gate will provide some infiltrated doofus for them. Cassicans being slurred by the mysticism of the Warlock. And yeah, will once again be brown-breaded. Which is not what they wanted, coming out straight from boot camp. One heavy weapons team is moving forward. We'll have to be very, very careful around these Howling Banshees. Mind War going on that Cassican, which is quite interesting. But the cooldown for that ability will now be quite low, so they are able to use it as much as they really want, to be honest.
Fear the judgment of the council.
More Eldar zaps going down, zoning the guardsmen away from the defense of their plasma generators for the moment. We'll get that decap as well from the Howling Banshees. Guardsmen now going to move forward. They're going to place these heavy weapons teams somewhere else. Tactical control as well. 91 and 40 compared to 91 and 30 of the Imperial Guard. The Imperial Guard do have a whole listing post over here that the Guardians and everyone else would be able to take on. Seemingly forgotten by the Eldar player, to be honest. Bit of tunnel vision, which make and break many a game I have seen on this channel.
Setting up.
Infiltration detection from the commander squad. We'll see this listing shrine. We'll make quick work of it as it's trying to go for its warp shrine add-on.
Under fire.
The Howling Banshees moving forward.
Objective secure.
Shiny bits going on from the command squad, increasing their overall effectiveness in combat, I imagine.
Big guns ready to fire.
Heavy weapons teams firing away directly into the listing shrine, but the Howling Banshees have seen them, and look how quickly those Howling Banshees are able to absolutely annihilate that heavy weapons team. You need to get these guardsmen in front of the heavy weapons teams just to keep them alive and well. And yeah, this death ball is not slowing down anytime soon. Got Grav platform, Bright Lance on both of these squads. Will help them take down vehicles. Going for a second webway assembly gate. What's the Eldar going for in the grand scheme of things? Nothing too crazy. Warlock mischief going on these guys, preventing them from running away. Warp spiders jumping in, firing directly at these guardsmen. And what are the guardsmen doing in response? They are building another command squad. And that's about it as far as I can tell. Oh, they've got some nonsense going on over here. Kaskan's moving in, destroying this listing shrine, but not quite getting the decap. Will be forced to retreat. And without the warp spiders and the warlocks slowing down ability, they will be able to make an escape. Minefield covering the retreat of the Kasakans. Now going to turn around and focus fire on these Howling Banshees as much as they can. While they are in cover, they are able to be infiltrated, but the Farseer is able to see them, so not the best thing for them. Going to stand defensively on the minefield. Won't take any damage from the minefield, but will be knocked down all the same. The Howling Banshees realising this and deciding to retreat. While it's going on, lots of dead guardsmen
You called for some
as Guardians flanked by a warp spider squad.
big guns ready to fire.
Everyone's having a deep breath in. Gonna go for some heavy las cannon teams as well as heavy weapons teams. The Howling Banshees being on the other side of the map.
You called for some
Heavy weapons teams might be able to stay alive long enough to do some useful stuff. Gonna go straight for an autocannon. In fact, I do believe that this one has... Yeah, it's also good for an autocannon as well.
Only a fool would stay.
What's going on over here? Oh, Kaskan's been zapped once again by the Howling Banshees and their Farseer comrade.
Big guns
Heavy lasgun team moving forward. Going to get a good sight on this listing shrine. And we'll fire away at it from a distance.
standing ready.
Bright Lance piercing the hearts of the priest.
I demand.
And he doesn't seem to be all that bothered. Oh, there we go. Dead as a doorknob. We'll replace it. Bit of a waste of money there. What's going on? Dear oh dear, Kaskans have been caught out. Probably while the Imperial Guard player was distracted by stuff going on over here. And it's a slow siege of this listening shrine. Got also one Imperial Guardsman wanting to get involved. A bit tired of sitting around doing nothing. Every little helps, that's what they say at Morrison's. Or is it Sainsbury's? Or is it Tesco? I cannot remember where that saying comes from.
Thank the Emperor.
More Kaskans coming out, but they have been squad capped. Do have a Hellhound, should I say, which will be amazing against the Howling Banshees and the Warp Spiders. Got to be very careful about these Bright Lances there. Maybe need to get these guardsmen into close combat and use their bayonets,
Second squad ready for war.
but we shall see. Do have some Kaskans over here. Infantry command being popped down here. It's all relatively... Everyone's just waiting for the right time to strike. You have double Vipers as well.
Comfort for one day.
Will be very good against those Hellhounds once they're on the field. And to be honest, at this moment in time, I do think that the Eldar do have it. Their Warlock's been able to slow men down, allowing the Howling Banshees to catch up on them. Warpspider's been able to maneuver around. There's just not enough Guardsmen. I mean, the Guardsmen could surely overwhelm the Eldar just with, like, grenade launchers and all that jazz. I mean, they've got 2 grenade launchers here. They've got 2 grenade launchers here as well. But lacking in Guardsman nonsense. They do have double Kaskans there. So if they use this to their advantage while the Eldar are down south, but with all these, what do you call them, those webways, won't be able to see anything that they need to bash. So, might need to get a mini-hero out. I do believe that mini-heroes in Dawn of War Pro mod, all of them can see stuff. Mind War going on this heavy lascannon team, absolutely wiping them out straight away. Eldar throwing down the big booms. So yeah, I mean, the Eldar could just kind of just sit down and wait for the Mind War to recharge, and then blow up the heavy weapons team once again. Command squad moving over here, going to allow these Kaskans to see the buildings and whatnot. They will make short work of this listening shrine. Double Burnsing is going to come around and see if they can repair it, while the Eldar are moving over to this side to bash over this listing post. Triple Vipers moving straight into the minefield. Will this have to move back a little bit before it explodes? This listing post is going to go down. Double Tech Priest Engineers jumping in to the infantry command. And yeah, this is I mean, it's a very good push, but against a very, very mobile Tout. What would you call it? Like a split push almost? Like, yeah. If I could use a League of Legends phrase here. Because now while while the Eldar are busy on the other side of the map, Imperial Guard are able to move forward and take care of this listing shrine. And double autocannons, in fact triple autocannons, will certainly blow this listing shrine to Kingdom Come. But the Imperial Guard do lose this listing post and a infantry command. So I'm not sure if it's entirely worth the trade. Kaskan's been chased around by these triple Vipers. Don't come out with their missile launchers straight away. So they do have their... So they are primarily good against infantry at the beginning of their lifespan. Guardsmen now will have to defend this. Do have a good amount of autocannons. Certainly going to cause a problem for these Guardians, but there are a lot of Guardians to deal with. Triple Vipers over here. Not going to do all that well against the autocannons, but the autocannons are being absolutely wiped out as quick as you like. Do you see a... Was there a Chimera on the way? There was a Chimera somewhere. There we go. Oh no, sorry, a Hellhound. I do apologise. I always get the tanks mixed up. Gonna fire straight into these Guardians. Making Vulcan proud, I imagine. With the double Bright Lances, the Hellhound can't do much on its own. Command squad over here tying up these Warp Spiders. More Guardsmen being spawned down on the south side. Hellhound being chased around by this Harlequin, if I can select her. Not giving up, in fact she's actually inside the tank. Getting involved. Won't be able to kill it though if those Tech Priest Engineers repairing it. Although mind you, these Guardians with some Bright Lances might have a different idea. Command squad over here, holding firm, staying alive with their big shiny God Save the Emperor abilities. But against so much DPS, there's not much that they can do. Hellhound being kind of repaired. A little bit worse for wear. We'll try and flank these Guardians, allowing the Guardsmen to move in first to attract some fire. Bright Lance, when attached to a squad, can't really fire at a Hellhound when their entire squad is firing at the Guardsmen. But lots of AoE from the Eldar, really causing a problem for the Imperial Guard at the moment. But to be honest, I did say I was calling it for the Eldar earlier on, but the Imperial Guard do seem to be holding their own quite well. 91 and 48 compared to 107 and 60. All I say that. The economic flirt from the Eldar. They've got money to play with. They've got time to play with.
Our concentration is impaired. Retreat!
So unless the Imperial Guard pull out something impressive, like I said, I mean, what's their economy at the moment? Not amazing. Yeah, if anything, they just need more boys. They've got a squad cap of 4 at the moment, or a unit squad size of 4, should I say? And they're playing very, very aggressively for such a small army. But again, these Guardians are almost dead. If they could take on the Guardians, that will stop the Howling Banshees from being screened as well. Bit of a Chimera on the field. Heavy las cannon doing what it can. Firing hot and heavy beams of damage towards the Harlequins and the Harlequins and the Howling Banshees.
Big guns ready to fire.
And now the Imperial Guard is going to, I assume, move up even further. The slow defensive advance of the Imperial Guard, as they are known for. More Guardians being put on the field. Yeah, Choco Bambus doesn't seem to play. I don't think when we last saw him play Eldar, I don't think he went for Dark Reapers. I mean, maybe he did. I can't quite remember for the life of me. But certainly Dark Reapers would be a huge investment militarily wise for him. Got a big warp storm coming in for the Imperial Guard here. And I mean, this heavy weapons las cannon team is not. I mean, it's like he's at a disco at the moment. A disco that no one wants to go to. Valkyrie firing there. The Hellhound doing what it can. Bringing down the badness. Avatar of Kane on the field there. Will probably spell the end for these guardsmen. Burning and twisting everyone into a pile of red mist and death. Shed throws out the GG. And that is all she wrote, I do believe. As they do the usual Dawn of War Pro gentlemen's slurred defensive death. Another Basilisk on the field. Will provide long-range support, but for how long against these last remaining guardsmen? But yeah, quite an exciting match, I think. Certainly had potential for both players. But yeah, the Eldar Death Ball was just a little bit too much. But yeah, thank you for coming. If you want to support the channel, there is a Patreon. £1 a month does get you 1 extra game a week, usually on a Sunday and all that jazz. And yeah, so today, Eldar's won. My name's been Mr. Landshark. Pleasure's always never short. And I'll see you in a bit. Peace.